Hey guys, this is Mr. Nightmare here, and today we'll be reading Chapter 8 of Free Me. Before we get started, please hit the like button, comment, subscribe to the channel if you guys want more creepypasta fanfictions out there. Until then, let's get started. How did you possess the cartridge? I'm not really sure. I kept fighting for something to keep me alive. The cartridge was there, Ben answered. The cartridge was put in the water and messed up the game. Terrible things happened. Oh, was all I could say. I could remember the horrifying discord of twitching things. What happened when your brother played the game? Had Ben felt all that? The psychological and physical pain of torture that he went through? Why did... My energy is very low, he cut off. You should go downstairs and talk to your parents. I'll be in your phone. He didn't let me respond as Ben faded away and entered my phone as the screen briefly flashed a bright red before shutting off. I sighed, slowly got out of bed and changed into a comfortable yoga pants and a loose-fitting gray t-shirt. When I heard the sound of glass shattering, "Mom!" I yelled as I sprinted down the stairs to the kitchen. Standing in front of me and my mom, her back was facing me, and there was a splatter of pasta, a shattered plate on the floor. I looked around my mom, wondering what was that startled her. I almost fainted. There, standing in the doorway. "Alex?" I whispered, trying to keep myself balanced. Was this real? "Hey, Pipsqueak, you grew up pretty fast," he said with a flashing a grin. Just hearing his voice was enough to cause streams of tears. I took a tentative step towards him. You're home. You came back. I couldn't speak anymore as my voice gave out as I began to sob. I swept my eyes as Alex held out his arms, closing the distance between the two of us. His leather jacket smelled like cinnamon and vanilla. I remembered when I was just a child, he would used to hold me when I had bad dreams. My mother started crying too, and I heard someone running down the stairs. And my father stopped suddenly, and then he noticed his son. "Alex?" he asked, not quite believing his eyes. He stood next to my mother and began to tear up. "Hey, Dad, it's been a while." "Where have you been?" my mother asked, stepping forward. As much as I didn't want to let go, I did so that my mother and father could hug him, which they did. We were a family again. I was studying abroad, and I went to get out and travel again with some friends, kids from college. It was a good way to get out of my depression. But I'm now back. He scratched the back of his head nervously as my mother pulled away and put her hands on her hips, and my father mimicked mirroring her. "You had me worried sick. When did you didn't come home? Or at least call? We thought the worst." My mother looked pretty pissed off. "But he's home now," I said suddenly. "And you're here." I turned to him again and hugged him. He grinned, optimistic as always, Pipsqueak. "But you're not such a Pipsqueak anymore, are you?" He ruffled my hair. Normally, I would be annoyed when he called me by that pet name. But right now, it was one of the best things I ever heard in years. "Well, will you be staying?" I asked. Alex looked up at our parents. "If that's all right with you guys." My mother and father both nodded. "I'm going to take little sis out for some milkshakes. I'll be right back in a few. I'll bring home some dinner," Alex said as I grabbed the keys from his pocket. "Okay, hold on. Just a second. I need to grab my phone." I ran upstairs quickly and grabbed my phone off the bed. I ran downstairs and followed Alex out the door and into the back of his Toyota Chevy. I hopped into the passenger seat and buckled in. Alex put the keys in the ignition and drove off. After a few minutes, we reached to our favorite ice cream parlor. I ordered a chocolate milkshake and Alex ordered an Oreo. As I sat down, it was like an 80s style booth. I sipped on my milkshake and not removing my eyes from Alex, afraid if I did, he would fade away again. Alex sighed and sat back in his seat. You're probably wondering why I really disappeared, right? He asked. You wanted to study abroad. That's what you said earlier, I said. He leaned forward. And you believe that. And now he had an unnerving attention. Was he lying? But why? Enlighten me. Where were you really? I raised an eyebrow and glared at him suspiciously. Oh God, did you kill someone? I hissed, earning a strange look from the waiter across the room. No, I didn't kill anyone. He rolled his eyes painfully, and then his eyes turned serious. Elizabeth, do you remember years ago, when I was in college and you used to visit? I was acting pretty weird. Yeah, I remember. I thought you gone mad, I said half sarcastically. Alex nodded, but his gaze locked onto mine. I put you through so much, and I think you deserve to know the truth. During those times, I was being followed. Haunted, really. I wanted to keep you, Mom, and Dad safe. Do you remember that game I played? Majora's Mask. He was in there. Who? I asked, really knowing the answer, but I didn't want him to know that already. His name is Ben. He is not human. I probably sound crazy right now, but I bought a haunted game cartridge from a yard sale all those years ago, and now he was tormenting me from it. He made me think he was going to target you next, so I ran away. I thought if I had left you, you'd be safe. Before I left, I accidentally released him from the game. After that, he left me alone. He got what he wanted. Freedom. That's not quite right, I thought, as I looked down at my phone in my lap. How would Alex react? How would he react knowing that the very thing he feared most is just mere inches away from him? You've been fine though, right? He never bothered you. His voice sounded strange when he said that, and I noticed his eye twitched a little. Nope, I lied innocently. He never messed with me. The phone in my lap began to vibrate. Child's laughter echoed from it. I looked down in shock, and there was a message on the screen. He's a nutcase. Watch out for him. I frowned, and I turned the phone facing down. Is everything okay? What was that about? Alex asked suspiciously. He tapped his fingers on the table slowly, kind of putting me on edge. Oh, nothing. It's just I got a text from a friend. I waved my hand. Nothing to worry about it. Alex visibly relaxed. I quickly drained the rest of my milkshake and prayed that Ben won't do anything like that again. The last thing I wanted was my brother knowing that Ben was contacting me 24/7. Alex finished his milkshake and stood up and twirled his keys. All right, let's get going. I stood up and followed him out the door and back in the car. We quickly made stops to the groceries and picked up a few things for dinner. Once we got home, I helped him unpack and move back into his old room, which was next to mine. For dinner, we made chicken teriyaki, a meal he used to do always when he was home. I didn't hear from Ben until bedtime. He appeared on the edge of my bed, his eyes gleaming wickedly. What? I whispered, not wanting to alert Alex, who was sleeping a wall away. So, your brother came back. Are you happy? Yes, of course I am. How do you think he will react if when he finds out I'm here? He whispered. Hopefully he doesn't. He never does. I hissed back, folding my arms. His paranoia is beyond reasoning, Elizabeth. I wouldn't be surprised that he already knows, Ben said, pointing towards the wall. And what will he do? Whatever he thinks he can. I looked into his phone. When he gave you his number at dinner, he still noted about me dating up to until today. The guy has a big bag full of cats, and you can smell the crazy on him. Come on, don't tell me you didn't notice. He giggled a little. I did notice he was acting a bit strange at dinner, asking everyone if they felt safe, if they had any strange experiences. I was thankfully my mom never mentioned the cracked mirror. Thankfully it's been fixed since yesterday, before I went to the party. But they did have mentioned the events of the party, and Alex looked a little bit more than worried. Yeah, sure, but why is he here now? I don't know. Maybe he thinks I'm gone for good, or he knows I'm not. Ben began to levitate on his back lazily. Oh, if only I had a physical body, he sing-songed. I scoffed. Don't push it. I don't trust you. That's when Ben gasped dramatically. Oh, you wound me, Elizabeth, after I saved you from that scumbag yesterday and showed you my past. But you still don't trust me. He has a point. A little trust wouldn't hurt. You haven't done anything to harm me or cause me pain in a while. Fine. Just a little. Don't get it into your head. I stuck out my tongue. Of course not, my lady, he joked, lowering himself back onto the bed. You quite had a busy day. I should let you get some sleep. Sleep soundly, Elizabeth. At that, he faded back into my cell phone. I placed it on the nightstand and I got under the covers and turned off the lights. Deep down, Ben wasn't the bad guy. Oh, what was I just saying? Of course. This guy caused my years of grief and depression, and I had every right to hate him, but I don't. I was grateful that he saved me, and he let me into his darkest secrets, like a friend would. Was that what he was now? A friend? Lost in thoughts, I slowly drift back to sleep. Jed Usable's point of view. I heard whispering coming from Elizabeth's room. I swore I heard whispering. Who could she be talking to? Maybe I'm overthinking things. No. If there's a chance that he's still here, I need to find a way to protect my sister and my family. Just then my cell phone lit up. I looked at the screen, and the blood drained from my face. Cleverbot was open, and there was a message waiting for me. Welcome back, Judge Usable. My hand trembled. He was here. I typed slowly. User, why are you here? Cleverbot, I'm just having fun. User, leave my family out of this. Cleverbot, too late for that. User, why? Cleverbot, just give it a moment to sink in. User, Ben, you leave Elizabeth alone. Cleverbot, she is mine. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. I'm glad. If you want more Ben Drown love stories, check out the playlist that will be popping up soon. Also, if you want any more fanfictions narrations, please check out my other channel, Reading with Blade, which has multiple fanfictions up already. If you are interested in the yaoi experience, check out Tyler O'Connell's channel if you want to go there. But note that channel is only 18 and up. I've been listening to Tyler's stories and I'm addicted to them. Until then, bye guys!